All right. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Plamo-Fudo, and we have Metalman X. You okay? All right, we got Metalman X here. One of my idols. As you guys have known, I have talked about a couple of people. Him coming first as the one who introduced me to third-party kits and just kind of like brought it to my attention, but also was the first ever detailed English speaker. So, Metalman, before we start the interview, you want to introduce yourself? You want to tell YouTube anything about it? I know you've got your own YouTube, and which, by the way, guys, every interviewer we're gonna have their links down here. We're also gonna have their name and where you can find them, and any other social media platforms. So, Metalman, floor is all yours.
Metalman X builds. I've actually not been doing Gunpla for too awful long. When my YouTube channel came up, I'd only been doing Gunpla for about 6 or 7 months before I started making videos. I could say that expresses who I am is like that. Gunpla is definitely, you know, that phrase you hear all the time from every, like, any place you go. Gunpla is freedom, and I really actually do believe that, because you can do whatever you want. There's no change, like no design, no laws, and so I kind of try to do that with my builds. Yeah, a lot of time I do stick to traditional colors, but I'm doing a lot of different things with them. So, you know, I'm an old dude. It's what it is. But, you know, other than that, yeah, I think that's about it. You know, I used to live actually down there in Texas where I got my start. You know, shout out to Gundam Kingdom. They showed me so much love over the years. Sold me my first Gunpla.
Yes. Oh man, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. What we'll go ahead and do is I will actually ask you these 5 questions, 5 easy, simple questions in my handy dandy notebook. First one, what got you into Gunpla?
So, I always loved Gundam as a franchise. Mine all through growing up. You know, I was one of those '90s kids, dude. Like when Wing came on TV, I was like, I am here for it. Give me those pretty boys with problems in their big mech suits. Dude, you know,
I'm here for it. I don't understand the politics of war, but I understand mecha.
I am here for big robots. I'm all about it. And, you know, because, you know, I grew up with Transformers and all that kind of stuff. And so when I was a kid, I saw this and I started watching all the shows I could get my hands on at the time. And when I got older, you know, I was able to get a hold of all the series. And so got to binge watch it and everything like that. Well, anyway, to make a longer story short, about right around 2020, before pre-pandemic times, it may have been 2019 when I started going. I had actually gotten diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. And so I'm sitting there with my therapist, and they're talking to me, and they're like, okay, what's something that can keep you here and now? And that's model kits are something I always wanted to do. And they actually suggested me, hey, you know, I have a lot of people that I deal with this disorder, and a lot of them find success with building like military stuff.
Yeah.
And I started thinking to myself, like, no, military stuff's not my jam, but I think I remember that there were Gundam kits, you know, and I'd like to build a robot, you know, and so I actually went to Gundam Kingdom and bought the HG Sandrock.
Oh, nice, nice.
And that was not only my first build I ever did, it was my first custom that I did on the YouTube channel.
Nice.
So
taking it with a stride and just saying, you know what, I'm gonna run with it. I'm gonna do this. I like your answer because it was a means to keep yourself focused. I myself kind of was like that at a point in time, because I don't know if you saw, but whenever I got out, and my YouTube channel may know this, but I'm missing my left leg. So this was a car accident like 7 years ago. Not my fault. It was just a series of unfortunate events.
Yep.
Mini Snickers reference. I love it. But yeah, no, I learned to just rock with it and roll with it. And it wasn't until a couple years down the road, also visited Hobby Lobby like a week before that and picked up the RX-78 because I was like, oh, I want to build a robot. You know, that'd be cool Twitch content.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned your Sandrock, your first purchase, your first build, your first custom. It wasn't my first YouTube video, but it was, like I said, it was my Deku. It was my first custom. I even have redone it, re-edited it, and I even picked it up the other day. I was like, you know, I can airbrush now. Let's give it the full treatment. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to kind of needing something to keep yourself focused and just. I'll talk more a little bit about that later in my own YouTube, but you can definitely relate to the answer of like it was good, and I know if I love this and if I feel this way about this, I cannot be the only one out there. Like I said, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say absolutely not. You know, I think one of the biggest aspects of our community and finding. And it's hit or miss when you find communities. Either you find super toxic communities where it has to be perfect, or you find some of the most helpful people in the world. And I think really, if you wanted to pick up Gunpla just as a therapy, like there are so many people that have no way of creating. Like before this, I played a lot of music. You know, I play music and things like that. But like. A lot of people don't know how to express themselves, and this is a fantastic way for people to come out of their shells and express themselves with the things they want, that they love, with a physical item that not only that they have, that they can show off, but they can just have it on their shelf and look at it and say, I did that, I made that, that is a part of who I am, and I was able to do this.
Y'all, you ready for question number 2?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm enjoying the conversation. Honestly, I don't
it's very rare
get to talk about it as much.
Yes, dude, it's different just doing one sentence like, oh hey, that's a really cool build. Where'd you get that? And, you know, I'm thinking of doing a custom, and then you know you got your little thread. But this is good. This is cool. And
yeah, I like this.
To piggyback off of what you were saying about an extensive project, what do you do to maintain project drive? Like, what do you do to just hold that out there?
So like with my current project, the Goof Custom, you know, I still got to build the base on it. The video will be coming out before too long, and it's well deserved because I've actually been on a hiatus. I don't know if you noticed, I haven't been uploading much.
Oh, I have, sir. I've got your YouTube in my. I've got it right here, sir. Yours, Canadian Gundam, EA Gunpla, a couple,
But really, when it comes to drive, like every build I've done has just been learning a little bit more. You know, this is my second build I've done with a motor in it. Nice. The first one, oh man, it was a struggle because I went in. Yeah, but what I learned from that is, okay, I've got to reduce the wiring. I got to do this. I got to do that. I've got to. And so it's all just a learning process. I was sitting there and hanging out with some people, and they're like, how do you do LEDs? And I happened to have a pack of LEDs, and I was just sitting there talking to them, putting LEDs in an HG kit that I'd never done before. Like, so then you're going to want to do this, grab yourself.
An in-person review. Dude, I would pay money for that. I would literally be like, okay, how do I do this? How do you know what to gut and what not to cut? So let me ask you question number 3, because it kind of actually piggybacks to your first attempt at motorized. So failed projects. What do you tend to do?
So many. So
Lots of failed projects. Lots of failed projects.
So many failed projects. So usually when I have a failed project, first thing I do is I curse the heavens. My best advice to myself, and I have to constantly remind myself about this, and I'm sorry I forgot to move that. To take a step back. Take a step back, like especially for mine. I remember the biggest like almost tantrum I almost threw.
I know the feeling.
I was running wiring. I mean, last piece of the kit to be put together.
Yeah. And
I went to test it out. Nothing lit up.
Was it working in test phase though, as it was?
Because you've seen on my videos, I'm like always saying test every step, every step, and I
You gotta know where your shortcoming is coming from. You can't just like, it's like with painting. You gotta do. I bit my tongue. I still paint my spoons before I go to anything because I gotta know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got a little overconfident on the build, and and I was just like, I want to get this done. I want to get this video out. I want, and it just fell apart. The whole thing, because I got so mad and everything, and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna take a day, step aside, do something else, and come back to it with a fresh mind. When you have a failed project, the best way to think about it's not a failed project. The word failure doesn't exist. It is a learning experience.
Yes. And a little off of question number 2. Let's go into question number 4. How do you avoid burnout? You were talking about sometimes a project goes awry and you step away from it. Like, do you tend to do long projects and try to like just break in between? Is that why your projects take a little bit of time?
Yeah, and also I like to spend time with my family and things like that. So like, there's my personal life, and then there's the 𝕨𝕚𝕟𝕒𝕟𝕜 stuff, and I always try to make time. My projects usually take a while because a lot of the equipment I work with, like I'm running, like my whole YouTube channel is run off oh man, it's even older than that now. Probably a 12-year-old laptop.
Nice. I started my whole streaming career with a milk crate that I still have, a used Xbox One from the pawn shop, and a 20-inch TV. Yeah, we all definitely got to start somewhere.
Really, just a lot of, to avoid burnout is the taking some time just to build stuff in between also.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times I'll have my main project and I'll have just something to tinker with on the side.
I know what you mean. Yes. I get to comfort build, Justice Gun.
Comfort build.
Right? Comfort build. And it's all pieced up, everything's all clean. And then we have next content build already like unboxed.
Oh, that's a good one.
I gotta nip everything out. So yeah, I get what you mean.
Is that was the RG Mark II, right?
Yeah, Mark II Titans.
That is one of my favorite builds. One of my favorite builds.
Oh, and then I got the epoxy resin diorama thing going on in front of me. So I get what you mean. It is cool. I've heard some people tell me that instead they'll be building, like, if they're building a master grade or a high grade, they'll switch and build like a tank or a warship or maybe a plane or something else. And I'm like, so you go from one model kit to another? I'm doing the math like 2 + 2 = fish. What? How?
Well, it's different. Actually, I have a buddy, Ed, up here where I'm at, who does armor, mostly like armor categories and IPMS and stuff like that. And he'll sometimes think, all right, I'm gonna build a frame arm girls. I'm like, okay, cool.
A friend that just says I'm building a Gundam, but then I'm gonna build a frame arms girl. I wonder if I have a friend like that.
Right now, actually, I'm just been playing. I decided, okay, I'm a little bit burnt out. I had done a lot of reviews. The Transformers kit actually just burnt me out.
Was it the Sunderland Master Grade or Perfect Grade?
No, those are actually just a little bit bigger than an HG. And so on that one, I had gone all out. I had LEDs, I had gun LEDs, I had a base that folded open so you could have different dynamics, and
a base that opens.
It just kind of like, and held together by magnets and all the wiring and everything like that.
You got me thinking.
And well, I have a buddy who so these are the kind of bases I use.
Nice.
They're these little 3D printed hexagonal bases. My buddy Dougie makes them, and I order them from him.
Send me the link, please. I would love to, one, support. 2, I just got the dopest idea of putting like a silicone mat underneath, putting the hexagon over, and filling with colored epoxy and making it be like a hexagon database.
Yeah, I'll send send you his info here in a little later.
For sure.
But I use these, and so all my wiring's under here, and these fit like Action Base 5 tops, so I can just pop an Action Base on top of it. And
I don't have one near me.
but I took one of these, and I hold up. Oh no, it's
I think I know
way
what
up.
you're talking about. Yeah, I have one somewhere. It's probably holding.
They're like the
Yes.
hexagon shaped bases.
And they come with a little square in the front, right? Like that little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. I don't know all their
And
numbers
so,
by memory.
I think it's a 5. I'm pretty sure, like 90. Don't quote me. But all the wiring goes under there, and that last build, I had to not only like create 2 separate wiring diagrams because it opened up, and I had to have everything running underneath and some parts running through it. I had to like reseal the sides so that when it opened up, it didn't look janky.
Yeah.
And I think it just kind of took it out of me, and I was like, all right, I need a break. And I ended up catching up with a guy I know up here, and we ended up playing music. I just filling in for his band for a couple of months, and so that's where I've been, like, honestly, just taking a little bit of a break, doing a different creative outlet, but kind of feeling back to buildings, which is good.
That's dope. I'm glad that it regained. For me, I game in the meantime, and like we were talking earlier, I'll have a content build, a comfort build, and then even just a custom, just something in the side. I'll put something together. I'll put a paint job aside because I like having my stuff lined up, because I have limited amount of time, and just like you, Metal. So it's like I really like to make like that time count and everything. So
yeah, and life gets in the way too. You know, I moved. Like, I didn't. This is the goof one that's coming up. Is my first custom paint job. I haven't had my airbrush for almost a year.
Yeah, shit.
So I've been
able to go that long.
Everything has been everything on my channel for the past like almost a year has been hand painted.
Speaking of your channel, this question you're probably gonna like, because it's what led me to you. Like I said, the first video I ever saw of you, and I have it right here, is the 𝕨, man, the 𝕨. So I don't know if you can kind of tell, but question number 5. What do you think of third-party kits and accessories? And
love them.
Nice. Okay, so third-party kits, what I'm talking about, you guys, is like 𝕨, which he actually says it 𝕨. I think you say it 𝕨. I heard you say it.
𝕨.
𝕨. There you go. I say 𝕨. Really, I don't know. It's dush.
I guess
that's what it is.
It's they're great. I mean, honestly, with I still have a full line in my backlog of all the original Supernova kits. So like, I have like an extra Snow White and stuff like that. Oh yeah. So like, when it comes to third-party kits, like, I think one of my favorite examples I like to use is the 𝕨𝕟𝕠𝕠𝕠 that got released. Because that's a kit that we've all wanted as a master grade, and we're not getting it.
For sure.
You know, and I think with third-party kits, for the most, especially how they're going now, if you look at like where Supernova's gone, where Motor Nuclear's gone, they've kind of moved.
Now? Are they? I think they are.
They still are. They were ZA for a minute when they did their Zoid kits,
Yeah,
and then I think it's
Berserker kit was
yeah.
by them, but it had a different name.
And then I believe it was the Hunt and Kill. That was Supernova NA or something.
Yeah.
And
the new version coming out of that.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
It looks awesome. But they're giving us things that they're starting to move away from just simply, okay, we're gonna quote unquote copy, you know, however people want to say it.
I feel like they're giving us what has not been granted by them.
Yeah.
They like.
And I think exactly, and I think Motor Nuclear is probably one of the most innovative third-party companies right now.
Yeah.
With their design.
Yeah,
They're really going all over and doing their own thing, which is awesome. And Supernova's kind of going that way as well, and I think they've seen the success that Motor Nuclear's had. But as far as like,
is rebranded too. They're like ZA
I of the third-party companies, Dragon Momoko is not my favorite. I've had so I built their Death Scythe Hell, and I drilled every peg out of that thing. I think third-party companies are essential. You know,
Yes.
it really does give us. A lot of times those third-party kits aren't just simple copies. Like they'll be like the Dayband F91 review I did not too long ago. It's based off the metal build. I'm never gonna be able to afford that metal build, and it came with extra options.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I had to do a bit more work. Yeah, you get so much more for it, and their release of the 𝕨𝕚𝕠𝕧𝕚𝕚, I mean, is amazing. And the Supernova heavy arms, the red one they released, the first Igel unit that they released, was a red.
I'll have to look it up, but I will throw an image up of it here. And by the way, some of these kits we're talking about, guys, I'll throw a picture up. I don't mind that.
A lot of these kits, you know, they really provide things that we don't get on a normal basis, and I'm for it. I'm for there being competition in the model kit world. You know, I think that a lot of times it's also alternatives they'll release kits like the P Bandai stuff.
Daybond has a PG Avalanche Exia Dash coming out on Gundam Model Central soon. That's not been made. There is no PG. Maybe there's probably a resin conversion kit, but again, you'd need the skill for that. And I like that Daybond just lays it out on the table for you. Just here.
And I think they got a PG new Gundam.
New Gundam, yes sir, and with metal frame
coming out.
And metal frame attachment. It's gonna be crazy.
Like,
and it's 590. Oh, sorry, not to interrupt. I know it's priced. It's either $549 or $599, but it's a pretty penny. But a lot of time, I mean, when's Bandai gonna release that? I mean, never. And nothing against Bandai. I love Bandai. They are my main plastic crack dealer. All the hate against Bandai, you chisty overcharging sons. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
And even
okay.
No, P Bandai's fine. P Bandai's fine. It's the scalper community.
Yeah.
Because those are to us, we're like, oh, there's P Bandai, but really in Japan where they're releasing it, it's not as big of a problem. It's the scalper community that makes it difficult. Like when the tall goose, as you say,
he called it the
tall goose. Oh, now I'm blanking on the name. What was that? Flugel, the tall goose Flugel, released on P Bandai. I mean, it was gone in seconds, and that was mostly people just putting like 15 of them in their cart.
Straight scalpers. I remember it's pretty much almost any time the Trans Am clear versions of like Exia, Double O Riser, or the Quant come out, gone. Check them 2-3 months later down the road, eBay. What was $50-$40 on P Bandai plus 10 is $70-$80 plus 10-15 shipping. Like, dude, it's a special place for you. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be that mean, but you
there is.
Me on my crack plastic. You go to a special place just for you. Reservation.
Just for them.
Just for you.
And so I don't have any issue with third-party kits. I never have. I never will, and I'll continue to do third-party reviews.
Well, man, I truly appreciate your time, bro. That was actually all the questions. Like I said, it was gonna be super simple. I gotta be honest with you, man. This has been pretty fun. This is really dope.
Yeah, we gotta do this again.
But I'll go ahead and end the video here, guys. I've been Plamo-Fudo. This has been Metalman X Builds. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to both of our channels to help a brother out. And thank you so much for watching. This has been absolutely dope. You guys, thank you for being a part of it. We're fixing to do their interview with novices. And yeah, man, as I always say at the end of every video, go Gunpla.